Regarding the national strategies for trusted identities in cyberspace, what do you see as the next steps going on in 2011?
Two key tasks are called for in this strategy as far as implementation planning is concerned. The first one is the establishment of a national program office. The second is the building of an implementation roadmap that will guide how we intend to go about building the identity ecosystem that's called for in the strategy. The National Program Office will take care of a lot of coordination activities internally among the federal government with the Office of the Cybersecurity Coordinator at the White House, as well as with the private sector and with governments at all levels for all the activities that need to occur. Well, the first thing to build out is an implementation roadmap that isn't necessarily a detailed plan of how the identity ecosystem will be built, but more importantly, it defines the activities that we believe as a federal government are necessary to achieve the identity ecosystem. Not necessarily that the federal government will do all of these activities, but that these activities need to occur. When that is the case, we outline those roles. When those two key activities are completed, we start to see this vision become a reality through the types of engagement and activity completion that we need to see.
What do you see as the role of smart cards in NSTIC as it moves forward?
Well, smart card technology has already been around and has been growing, expanding, diversifying, and really the smart card industry has made itself increasingly flexible in the same sort of way that the NSTIC hopes to continue, that we see identity solutions across cyberspace. So a lot of the major considerations for the strategy were about this sort of innovation and how we can foster it. Really, the key point for us is that this is a strategy about innovation, and this is a strategy about being market-driven. And so as a result, the strategy itself needed to remain technology agnostic. And what that does is it creates an opportunity for smart cards to continue evolving. The smart card industry itself to find new ways to be innovative. As innovation continues, and as the vision of the NSTIC provides more clarity as to what the federal government believes these identity solutions not should be prescribed as, but should generally contain, and that's simply the principles of privacy, interoperability, security, and a certain ease of use. Well, that level of innovation is the sort of thing that the smart card industry has been working on. And as they continue to do so, they'll find a natural home within the NSTIC and play a real role in what will be the types of solutions that are achieved.
What is the private sector's role as it relates to NSTIC?
It's impossible for the strategy to succeed without the private sector. It is the private sector that will be carrying a huge amount of the weight in terms of both development and implementation, as well as sustainability of it across time. It's all about innovation. It's all about, and so the government can play a role in upholding the guiding principles, in ensuring that interoperability is there, and working towards standards that work for the private sector and for government. And being very careful about the way that privacy is incorporated on a consumer side and on a proprietary side for businesses as well. So the sort of innovation that the strategy needs, that's a private sector thing. And for the strategy to be successful, it will require the private sector to achieve those sorts of things. It's about cross-sector capabilities. It's about understanding that in the healthcare sector and the banking sector and in all the sectors, all the industries that would potentially be able to see value in and make use of the NSTIC and the vision that it lays out, that they find ways to work together in commonalities and interoperability from both a policy and a technical perspective that can really make the strategy shine and make it useful to consumers and make it useful to the average everyday business owner, small businesses, large businesses of all types that want to implement it, and to do so in a way that's cost effective and easy to use. And that's the sort of role that the government, sure, they can play a hand in being an enabler, being an early adopter of good technologies, being a promoter. But what they can't do is do the sort of innovation that's really needed from the private sector to make the strategy a success.